Hey everyone, good morning and welcome back to my next video. I'm bringing you along today for a drone job that I've got out here in West Harris County, Texas. Basically, just going to be capturing some data for some mapping and inspection of this retail property, just a little strip mall out here. All we're going to be doing is mapping the pavement and rooftops from um, about like 150 feet. We're going to bring it back down to around 50 feet for the rooftop mapping. And then we're going to capture the walls on the outside of the building. And then finally, we're going to capture the HVAC and refrigeration units that are on top of the building as well. There's probably about 40 to 45 total units up there, so I just need to keep that in mind when I'm up there taking pictures. Um, so keeping track of how many units I'm capturing in total. So today we'll be using the DJI Mavic 3 Enterprise. This is my enterprise drone that I use for all of these projects. I started out with the Mini 4 Pro, and that thing really turned me on to flying drones and mapping, but it just didn't have the full capabilities that the Mavic 3 Enterprise offers. So I'm gonna get everything set up here. I'm gonna throw on my little chest rig, get the camera on, and then show you all a little bit of how I set up the missions and what I've got going on in the background. Stay tuned. All right, so first off, I've got the remote control out for the drone. I've pulled up the Drone Deploy Flight app. Gonna have to download this update pretty quick, but in the meantime, let's get this guy out. Mavic 3 Enterprise. Pop a fresh battery in here. That'll be the first thing. And I've got all of these up here charged up. So we should be good to go for the entire mission. Some of the bigger sites I tend to run through the batteries faster when it's really hot, or there's a lot of manual photos, or if it's just a long mapping mission. The most I can get out of one battery, the better. So we're just gonna stick these propellers on here, lock them into place. Now, one reason the Mavic 3 Enterprise is preferred for these mapping missions is because of the mechanical shutter on the lens. It allows it to not have as much, or basically eliminate all of the motion blur whenever you are capturing images for mapping. That way, when everything gets stitched together, it's really high quality. And yeah, there's not going to be any blurry edges and whatnot. All right, so let's go ahead and install that update. So we're going to get up in here and we're going to create a new project. Sorry, I got the sun glare directly behind me. And we're going to throw in the address of where I'm at. And you'll see I will create a project here. Continue. We're going to do create a map and model. And from here, I'm basically going to set my flight altitude, my advanced settings. Don't use the automatic settings on Drone Deploy. Figure out what works best for your application. So 75% front overlap, 65% side overlap. So it's going to take about 5 minutes, 42 seconds. As you can see there, it'll be 4 acres, 171 images in one battery. That's really good actually for this. So I'm going to keep that up. We're going to get the drone turned on. Alright, so just making sure I'm in the DJI Pilot app now. We're going to take this guy off from here.
to take it up to the altitude I'm going to be flying and make sure there's no obstructions in my way. Yeah, we're going to be golden for this elevation, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is hop back over to the DJI, or excuse me, the Drone Deploy app. Invalid plan. Yeah, this guy will, it'll glitch sometimes, so there we go. Obstacle avoidance enabled. It was saying it was disabled. So just little things you got to be careful of whenever you're flying, that make sure all your software is working out the way it needs to be, and make sure your drone's working the way it needs to be. So start flight. All right, so he's going to travel up to 150, head to that first waypoint, going to come back and down to 130, and then start with the 90-degree nadir images. He's there, flying over the parking lot. So yeah, with that, check it out. This is the location, just a little strip mall. Drone's doing his thing, and I'm just gonna stick around and make sure it's all good. All right, y'all, so as you can see here, we've got the drone going, and maybe my reflection's not helping right in the sun, but you can see he's capturing the parking lot. He'll be conducting this for a few more minutes, and then we'll wrap this up, get the rooftops, get the walls, and you can see there's all these units on top. I need to capture all those individually later. I actually am doing this. This is my first legitimate client that I've had for my business. I started back in April doing this for them, so it's been quite a few months, and I've just been getting better at it as time goes. And after a successful handful of missions with them, we partnered. As things get better, gonna get, that frequency is gonna pick up. But other than this, there is another company that I am in talks with to be generating the same imagery for, and they do a little bit of the same type of analysis. This particular client is involved in asset intelligence, which is your asset management, but it combines your preventative maintenance to your assets. So the whole property can be one asset, but there's several components on the property that require maintenance. You have your pavement, your rooftops, your signages, lights, HVAC, refrigeration, all that stuff. So what this company does is basically builds out these maintenance schedules based on what their analysis is of the mapping and photogrammetry. And the same thing for the next company that I'm going to be doing some work with, except they actually include interior inspections to their process as well. So I'm super excited to get used to using those, 3D or 360 cameras and going and creating those virtual tours and basically doing the same things I'm doing out here, but on the inside, and then fully capturing the entire mission. Well, what that beeping is telling me is that the drone is done with its first mission. I'm gonna land it down right here for you guys, and we're gonna get on to the next one. All right, so now that the drone's landed and we've completed that first mission, I am going to condense this map on the Drone Deploy app down to where it is only covering basically the rooftop of this property. That looks all right. Now, one thing I'm gonna make sure of when I take off is I'm gonna use a 60-foot elevation, and I'm just gonna make sure that it when I'm at 60 feet, there's not gonna be any obstructions when I'm up there. So I've got the rooftop crosshatch set up. I'm gonna go to advanced. It's gonna keep all of my same settings, except this one I can drop down to about like 80. And then the gimbal for this guy for oblique imaging, it's going to be negative 65. And then I'm going to do a perimeter 3D as well. So this flight, the lower you are, higher definitions you're going to get on these buildings.
This one's going to take 249 images, be an acre, and take about 7.5 minutes. All set. Let's send the drone. Everything's good. Start flight. Drone is initializing. All right, so while the drone is doing this, I can continue to talk to you guys. I just got to keep a closer eye on him because he's a little bit lower, about half the elevation. This work is really exciting, and the fact that drones are new technology and this is just going to get so much easier, better, especially with the autonomous flying capabilities. I mean, going forward, I'm just like super stoked and ready to get bigger, badder drones that do better, get better pictures and all that stuff. It's come out now. Diesel. Nice. We have the Mini 4 Pro and we have the Mavic 3 Enterprise, which were new when I got them. Now they're outdated. And basically, I want to upgrade. Mavic 4 Pro that's out now, that thing is super sweet, but it doesn't have the RTK capabilities. The new thermal drones also look really good, the Mavic 4 series of those. I would like to get into some thermography going forward, but the issue is when you get the thermal drone, you don't have the mechanical shutter, which I highly recommend for this work. So it's kind of a pick and choose, but I think for the time being, the Mavic 3 Enterprise is going to do for now. I have really not a lot of hours on it. I only use it for this work, and I'm just super excited for one day to be able to just get another drone and do something different, like the thermal applications. Or one thing that I've been watching for too is the gas detection. They use that out on pipelines and in the energy industry, so that would be really freaking cool. Getting up top and taking the individual images of the HVAC units is where the time gets consumed, because they can be very close. You have to be very careful with the drone when you're up there. There's all sorts of, there could be power lines running to these units. There can be tight gaps, things of that nature that you just got to be aware of when you're up there. Oh yeah, I'm going to be doing some marketing imagery for this client as well. So when I'm all said and done here with the mapping missions, I'm going to take the drone way up there. And they have a list of like 4 or 5 types of shots that they want me to get. And those are super easy. I just pick up the drone, take it way out there at a couple hundred feet, 200 to 300 feet, and I just start snapping some images of the whole pavement, the building. All right, so we've got the drone coming down on its own. I'm going to take control now, bring it right down into the bed of the truck. All right, y'all, so I just wrapped it up for today. This one went surprisingly smooth. I captured everything on the rooftops. Even if it didn't look like something I needed to capture, I still captured it anyway, because I'm up there, I might as well, and I don't want to leave any loose ends when I send this off to the client. There were 4 different units I had to capture, 4 different types of units I had to capture on the roof itself. And they gave me some counts. The counts weren't exactly adding up from what they showed me, but I did capture everything that is on the roof, so we'll be good on that front going forward. I also did capture the 360 of the building, basically just capturing all the walls, front, back, and the sides. That's all manual, even though there are some modes to be able to do that autonomously, but I like to do it manually. And then the marketing images. So I just took the drone way up across the street, way up around 200 to 300 feet, captured the front of the building, the back, left, right, center. I'm wrapping it up for the day. I'm gonna go see a friend. He actually lives right up the road, and that's pretty convenient. I'm gonna show him the drone, show him some of the work I've been doing. That's about it. I really appreciate you guys coming along with me on this one today, and really hope you enjoyed, and I hope you guys like, subscribe, and comment on the video telling me what you like, don't like, and what you'd like to see more of in the future. I'm going to be addressing a lot more of your questions in greater detail as more content comes along, but I hope this gives you a little bit more insight as to what I'm doing in my little drone business. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys coming along. take care. I'll see you in the next one.